Okay.
But it is not too early to contact your
Absolutely.
legislators and
Absolutely.
let them know that this is one of these issues that just has to be dealt with.
It really does have to be dealt with. We recently took in, we helped out another shelter that did take in, I believe it was well over 55, 56 dogs from a puppy mill. And we took in 10 of these dogs. It was shocking. It was absolutely shocking to see the conditions that these animals were in. It's just inconceivable to me that this suffering continues. I just, as an animal welfare organization,
Yes.
You just can't imagine that people, that their greed is so great that they do not see that suffering. And people need to understand that this is real. This is happening every day. These dogs are 24/7 in these types of environment, and there is no quality of life. There is none whatsoever. It is tremendous suffering, and we need to stop it. We need to rally and get excited and get passionate about this and get behind this and really stop it, because we can do it.
I absolutely believe that, and that's one of the reasons why I've dedicated so much time to
Absolutely.
it. Because if I didn't believe that we could address the cruelty and neglect and suffering, I would have moved on to something else.
Absolutely.
I mean, we want to be productive with our time, but it is so true that they don't see it. The people who are doing this solely for profit, it's the minimum amount of money that they can spend on those animals for the maximum amount of product, which is the puppies,
Right.
to be sold in the marketplace. And the conditions of the breeder dogs is horrendous. Bone breaks that have been untreated, parasites, skin conditions, ear infections. The females have, we have literally seen dogs that have had cesareans done on kitchen tables. I realize that's shocking, but I think our audience needs to hear this. If they can save $50 on a vet bill, that's $50 more in their pocket. It is a bottom line driven industry.
What happens to these breeding dogs when they no longer produce?
Well, in Wisconsin, it's not illegal to take your dog out behind the shed and shoot it, and that's what happens to most of them.
That's how many of these? Is there an estimate of how many puppy mills are in Wisconsin?
Yes. Our organization has done an estimate. We stand by it. We feel it's reliable. What we did was look at our population, our human population, and compared it to other states of similar human population that have regulation. And we're estimating in Wisconsin right now there are between 2,000 and 2,200 of these organizations. Wow. We've supported our research by doing a lot of analysis of classified advertisements and internet sales of dogs, and we really believe that that's how big the problem is right now.
That's just unimaginable. It's just,
really,
it's unmanageable.
What's shocking to me, Joni, is when you say, our organization had an intervention. We had one puppy mill. You touched one group of dogs of 2,000. When you multiply the suffering that you saw from that one operation by 2,000, it's heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking. I mean, I'm actually having a hard time with this because I just can't imagine it. Okay, let's move on. So let's talk about what are some of the things that these puppies are obviously being sold. What are some of the things that are happening with these puppies? What if people are purchasing these dogs, what kind of medical issues, what kind of behavioral issues do sometimes people have to deal with?
Well, first of all, I get emails every single day from people who bought a puppy and it's got some kind of issue. And when I ask them why they bought a puppy from a particular place, they said, well, it was cheaper. I could get this puppy for $200 from this guy up north, a classified ad that I replied to, versus a quality hobby breeder that wanted $800. But in the end, that $200 puppy cost them $3,000 or $4,000 at the vet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we are talking about little dogs with hip and knee problems. We are talking about big dogs with hip dysplasia, deafness, other kinds of genetic disorders. We are talking about unsocialized dogs that don't know how to act like dogs because they haven't been raised around people. They've been raised in a wire cage by breeding dogs who have been raised in wire cages. So it looks like a dog, but it doesn't know how to act like a dog.
And I can tell you firsthand that it's amazing how these dogs just, there's no social skills whatsoever. People are, I mean, their contact with people is so limited, and they're so frightened and scared, and there's fear issues, and the fact that they're taken away from their mother so early, and they're not allowed to be taught to be a dog is heart-wrenching. It's just, it's horrible, and the recovery from that is limited. And you and I know that, and obviously there's a lot more we could talk about, but we're just about ready to wrap up. Leave us with something here today. Tell me what you want our viewers to know today.
Puppy milling is a con game. They will lie to you. They will tell you you have to take the puppy at 4 weeks so it will bond to you. They will tell you that the puppy has papers. There are many phony registries out there right now. It's an industry full of lies and corruption. And if you are buying from a puppy miller, you are probably going to get taken, number one. You are probably going to get a really bad dog. And you will absolutely be helping to perpetuate this bottom-feeding industry that's full of cruelty and neglect and suffering. We can change this in Wisconsin, but we must do it through our government. We must impart upon our leadership down in Madison that we will not tolerate this animal cruelty any longer, and that we must have a law to regulate puppy mills that will license and inspect them before they go into business, or those that are in business will get licensed and inspected to continue on with business, and that we set standards of care that these businesses absolutely must adhere to, or they'll be shut down.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you on behalf of all animals for what you're doing.
Thank you for joining us today, and we hope that you would now have a better understanding of puppy mills and the impact that they have on you and your neighbors and our whole community. And until next time, we just want to say,
Happy Tails to you.
Happy Tails was brought to you by the Oshkosh Area Humane Society and the following local underwriters: Lakeside Animal Hospital, 235-5040. Provident Financial Consultants, LLC, 230-6898. West Business Services, 920-997-6927.